Why modern life feels exhausting. You are not tired because life is only hard. You are tired because life almost never stops asking something from you. A message needs an answer. A bill needs attention. A job needs energy. A body needs care. A future needs planning. A phone needs checking. A world full of problems needs processing. And somewhere inside all of that noise, you are expected to stay calm, productive, informed, attractive, healthy, successful, emotionally available, financially responsible, socially connected, and mentally stable, all at once. This is the strange exhaustion of modern life. It is not always dramatic. It does not always look like collapse. Sometimes it looks like staring at your phone with nothing left to give. Sometimes it looks like sitting in silence after work, too tired to even do the things you enjoy. Sometimes it looks like waking up already behind. Sometimes it looks like feeling overwhelmed by a normal day. And the confusing part is this. You may not be carrying one giant problem. You may be carrying 1,000 tiny demands, tiny decisions, tiny alerts, tiny comparisons, tiny deadlines, tiny fears, tiny unfinished thoughts. Each one looks small, but together they become heavy. Modern exhaustion is often not one boulder on your back. It is sand, a grain at a time, until your whole nervous system feels buried. For most of human history, life was physically harder for many people. But it was also slower in certain ways. The night became dark. Distance created separation. Work often had clearer physical boundaries. News travelled slowly. Comparison was mostly local. Silence was common. Boredom existed. Waiting existed. Being unreachable existed. Today, almost nothing is fully unreachable. Work can follow you home. News can enter your bedroom. People can contact you at any hour. A stranger's opinion can affect your mood. A global crisis can become part of your morning routine. Your phone can turn 5 quiet minutes into a flood of messages, ads, disasters, opinions, videos, and other people's lives. The body may be sitting still, but the mind is travelling everywhere. This is why modern life can feel so exhausting. Your muscles may not be carrying rocks, but your attention is carrying the world. One hidden cause is constant context switching. You are writing something. Then a message appears. You return to work. Then remember a bill. You open a tab. Then see a headline. You answer one email. Then check one notification. Then remember something you forgot. Each switch feels small, but the mind pays for it. The American Psychological Association explains that switching between tasks creates mental costs, and even brief mental blocks can add up when people keep shifting attention throughout the day. Modern life is built out of switches. Home to work. Work to messages. Messages to news. News to shopping. Shopping to comparison. Comparison to anxiety. Anxiety to distraction. Distraction back to work. The brain keeps changing rooms without ever leaving the building. And eventually, even simple things feel harder. A conversation feels like effort. Cooking feels like effort. Cleaning feels like effort. Replying to a text feels like effort. Choosing what to watch feels like effort. Resting feels like effort. Because the mind is not just tired from doing. It is tired from shifting. Another hidden cause is that modern life creates constant low-level urgency. Not emergency. Urgency. There is always something you could be doing. Something you should improve. Something you should reply to. Something you should learn. Something you should fix. Something you should start. Something you should stop. Something you should become. This creates a quiet pressure that follows people everywhere. Even when nothing is happening, the mind whispers, "You are behind. You forgot something. You need to catch up. You should be doing more." And this pressure is not only internal, it is reinforced everywhere. Productivity content tells you to optimize your morning. Fitness content tells you to transform your body. Finance content tells you to build wealth. Career content tells you to move faster. Social media shows you people who seem to be winning. News shows you a world that seems to be breaking. Algorithms show you more of whatever keeps you emotionally awake, so even rest becomes contaminated by comparison. You lie down, but your mind is still measuring. Am I doing enough? Am I wasting time? Am I falling behind? Am I becoming the person I am supposed to become? This is the exhaustion of living in a world where everything becomes a performance metric. Your sleep can be tracked. Your steps can be tracked. Your productivity can be tracked. Your spending can be tracked. Your likes can be counted. Your views can be counted. Your body can be compared. Your career can be ranked. Your life can be displayed. Even self-improvement can become another way to feel inadequate. The modern person is not only living, they are monitoring themselves living. And that creates a second layer of fatigue. You do the thing, then you judge the thing, then you compare the thing, then you wonder if the thing was enough. This is why modern life can feel heavy even when nothing catastrophic is happening. The exhaustion is not always from pain. Sometimes it is from constant evaluation. Work is another major piece of the puzzle. Many people are no longer just tired from labour. They are tired from blurred boundaries. A job used to end more clearly for many workers. Now, work can exist as a message, a calendar alert, a task app, a late email, a weekend thought, a meeting reminder, or a quiet anxiety about Monday. The workplace may close, but the mental workplace remains open. The World Health Organization defines burnout in ICD-11 as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed, marked by energy depletion or exhaustion, mental distance or cynicism toward work, and reduced professional efficacy. That definition is specifically about the work context, but it reveals something important about modern life in general. Chronic unmanaged stress does not just make people busy. It changes their relationship with life. You become emotionally distant. You become less patient. You become cynical. You become less effective. You need more rest, but rest feels less restorative. You are not simply tired. You are depleted. And depletion is different from ordinary tiredness. Ordinary tiredness says, I used energy today. Depletion says, I do not know how to refill. That is why people can sleep and still feel tired, because sleep helps the body recover. But it does not always solve mental overload, emotional pressure, financial anxiety, social comparison, loneliness, information fatigue, and the feeling that life is moving faster than you can process. The brain needs more than sleep. It needs safety. It needs quiet. It needs rhythm. It needs moments where nothing is being demanded. But modern life often fills every empty space. Waiting in line becomes scrolling. Eating alone becomes watching. Walking becomes listening. Resting becomes consuming. Silence becomes uncomfortable. Boredom becomes unacceptable. And without empty space, the mind cannot digest life. It only keeps swallowing. More information, more opinions, more tasks, more images, more noise, more decisions. Decision fatigue is another hidden weight. Modern life gives ordinary people a level of choice that previous generations could barely imagine. What should I eat? What should I watch? What should I buy? What should I post? What should I believe? What should I study? Where should I live? Who should I become? Choice can be beautiful, but endless choice can become exhausting, because every option creates responsibility. Every path creates the fear of missing another path. Every decision creates the possibility of regret. And when life becomes a menu with infinite pages, even freedom can feel tiring. This is why people sometimes freeze, not because they have no options, but because they have too many. There is also emotional exhaustion. Modern people are exposed to more human pain than any nervous system was built to carry. A disaster across the world, a war, a scandal, a tragedy, A personal story, a stranger crying, a stranger being humiliated, a stranger being praised, a stranger being attacked. All of it appears on the same device where you check the weather, message your family, pay a bill, and watch something funny. The emotional categories collapse. Comedy sits next to tragedy. Advertising sits next to grief. Beauty sits next to disaster. Outrage sits next to a recipe. The mind is asked to switch emotions faster than it can process them. Laugh, worry, compare, buy, feel guilty, get angry, feel inspired, keep scrolling. No wonder people feel numb. Numbness is sometimes the mind's way of protecting itself from too much input, and this creates the bigger problem. Modern life gives us more connection, but less recovery. More information, but less wisdom. More stimulation, but less peace. More convenience, but less presence. More options, but less certainty. More productivity, but less spaciousness. And slowly, people begin to believe exhaustion is normal. They joke about burnout. They normalize being overwhelmed. They call chronic tiredness adulthood. They assume peace is something you earn after success. But what if this level of exhaustion is not a personal flaw? What if it is a signal? A signal that the human mind is being asked to live at machine speed. Machines can run continuously. Humans cannot. Machines can process endless inputs. Humans need meaning. Machines can switch tasks without emotion. Humans carry residue. Machines do not need silence. Humans do. This is the core mistake of modern life. It treats the human being like an operating system that can keep updating, processing, optimizing, responding, and performing without breaking down. But people are not machines. People are rhythms. Energy rises and falls. Attention expands and narrows. Emotions need time. Bodies need darkness. Relationships need presence. Minds need space. And life needs pauses. The twist is this. Modern life feels exhausting, not only because we do too much, but because we rarely feel finished. A task ends, but another begins. A bill is paid, but another arrives. A message is answered, but another appears. A goal is reached, but a higher one replaces it. A feed refreshes, and the world begins again. There is no final page, no natural ending, no clear moment where the mind can say, enough for today. So exhaustion becomes the feeling of living inside an unfinished loop, always almost caught up, always almost rested, always almost ready, always almost enough, but never fully there. And this is why the answer cannot only be work harder or manage time better. Time management helps. But the deeper issue is attention management, energy management, and boundary management. What gets access to your mind? What demands an instant response? What are you carrying that is not yours? What are you calling rest that is actually more stimulation? What are you calling ambition that is actually fear? What are you calling connection that is actually performance? These questions matter because exhaustion is not always solved by doing less. Sometimes it is solved by removing what quietly drains you. The unnecessary comparison, the constant checking, the fake urgency, the endless self-measurement, the open loops, the pressure to be available, the belief that peace must be postponed. Modern life may not slow down. The apps will not stop asking. The world will not become less noisy overnight. The economy will not suddenly become gentle. The feeds will not decide you need silence. So the question becomes personal. Where can you reclaim a small piece of quiet? Where can you close a loop? Where can you stop performing? Where can you let an ordinary moment be ordinary? Where can you choose depth over speed? Because maybe the goal is not to escape modern life. Maybe the goal is to stop letting modern life enter every room inside you. A person can live in a noisy world and still protect some silence. A person can use technology without becoming available to everything. A person can care about the future without carrying the entire world alone. A person can build a life without turning the self into a machine. Modern life feels exhausting because it asks for your attention, your energy, your identity, and your emotions all at once. But not everything that asks deserves access. That may be the quiet rebellion, to be human at human speed, to rest without earning it, to focus without apology, to let silence return, to stop treating your life like an endless dashboard, and to remember that being alive is not the same as being constantly productive. If this made you see the world differently, open another tab with us. Subscribe to Curiosity tab